Generally speaking, I'm pretty good with names and faces. And for instance, if I meet a first-time guest on a Sunday morning, I'm fairly good at remembering them, which I think pleasantly surprises them when they come back the following week or even a few weeks later, and I'm generally able to remember them by name. And sometimes it backfires. Not the whole greeting them by name part, but the recognition piece. Some time ago, I met someone new on a Sunday morning. Then later that same week, I was at a fast food restaurant here in Eagle Rock, waiting in line to place my order. And I thought to myself, hey, I recognize this person standing in front of me. She was new at church this weekend, so I greeted her by name. I said, I think we met this weekend at ERBC. To which she responded that it's not my name, and no, I wasn't at your church this weekend. That's awkward, isn't it? But maybe not as awkward as the case of mistaken identity in our passage today. They're following the angelic announcement of the marriage supper of the Lamb in verse 9. John tells us, at this I fell at his feet to worship him. But he said to me, don't do that. I am a fellow servant with you and with your brothers and sisters who hold to the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for it is the spirit of prophecy who bears testimony to Jesus. Now, what that means is that the divine announcement that John had just heard was so impressive that he took the angel who announced it to be divine itself. That's awkward. It's also illuminating. The prohibition to worship angels and the command to worship God alone turns out to be theologically significant as we look at some other texts. In the Gospel of John chapter 9, after Jesus healed the man who was born blind and subsequently revealed his identity to the man as the Son of Man, John tells us, then the man said, Lord, I believe. And he worshiped him. And Jesus doesn't rebuke him. In Matthew 28, prior to the Great Commission and Jesus' ascension, we're told of the disciples, when they saw him, they worshiped him, but some doubted. I've shared before, I find the presence of doubt here in this scene to be comforting. To know that even those who had spent so much time with Jesus, having seen all that they had seen, that there was still some room for doubt. More important than their doubt is their response of worship and Jesus' response to receive that worship. The first and second commandment, God says, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an image in the form of anything in heaven above or on earth or on the earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the parents to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments. God demands exclusivity in our worship. In Jesus' showdown with the evil one in the wilderness, do you remember what he said to the enemy's temptation? Jesus answered, it is written, worship your God and serve him only. It is only God alone who is worthy of our worship. While Jesus continually points us in that direction, he is also that which the direction points. My guess is that in our lives, we're probably not tempted to give our worship to angelic beings. But we're all tempted at different times and in different ways to give our worship to the created rather than the creator. May it not be so among us, but that we would give our worship wholly and wholeheartedly to Father, Son, and Spirit. Have a great week.